I'm Ashley Brooks, and this is Prompt 3, The Importance of Social Emotional Learning in the Third Grade Classroom, Addressing Big Emotions Before Academics. Here we go. Social Emotional Learning, and as you will see throughout this presentation, abbreviated as SEL, is essential for elementary student success. As a third grade teacher, I have seen third graders need social emotional skills before any academic learning. When a kid comes in without their whole needs being met, with their emotional state in a wreck, they do not have the right pathways to bring the information that they're learning from the back of their brain to the front. There are some major blockers going on, and without addressing those, they cannot and they will not be able to learn successfully. Parents do play a crucial role in reinforcing SEL at home. Social emotional learning fosters consistency between school and home, and inclusion continues to be a complex topic in education with debates around effectiveness and equity, as seen in the 2019 article Between Friends and BERSEC. This is a challenge, but it's not impossible. Some of the challenges have been social emotional develops self-awareness and social skills, and they are responsible for decision making, as seen in Castile 2020. And kids a lot of times get off the hook because of X, Y, and Z. But when we can teach them effective decision making and executive functioning skills, their social emotional well-being is so much stronger. According to the Friends and BERSEC article, inclusion is more than placement. It involves ensuring meaningful participation and achievement for all students. Students arrive at school with emotional burdens, and that affects their learning. Lack of parental knowledge on social emotional learning creates inconsistencies on home conversations and school conversations, and managing frustrations, conflict, and disappointment is key to anyone's success, especially students. Complexity of social emotional learning in a classroom. The biggest one is balancing that explicit teaching of social emotional support and academics. As teachers, we're charged with teaching the standards, and within the standards is a speaking and listening component, and there are like the responsibility, the work ethics, the interpersonal skill. That's what I'm looking for, the interpersonal skills. But there's not an explicit social emotional standard. And so balancing that with academics can be very challenging, but it is so necessary. And I just cannot express how much my classroom dynamics have changed when I have focused on the social emotional part and then the academic part and incorporated the two. Emotional struggles can impact reading and learning focus. Inclusive classrooms can lead to improved social and academic outcomes for all students, as seen in the McCleskey 2017 article. Many educators lack social emotional training and strategies. Social emotional learning integration is necessary for academic success, and effective co-teaching and differentiated instruction are essential, yet often under-implemented, as seen in the Friend and BERSEC article of 2019. This is a picture of my class from last year. We were a very tight class family, but it didn't come without its fair share of challenges and reiteration of different class expectations and rules and social emotional learning skills. This is a picture of my desk on a random day with my Disney bag of fun tricks and calm down techniques with bubbles in there. There are some of the the party blowers to just have a breathing technique. There's squishies for tactile calming down. There's rewards in there. There's stickers. There's coloring. It's just a great calm down bag and a reward bag. Kids love to go in that bag for a reward. There's shakers that we want to celebrate anything. You can see the Lego trophy that was built over many years ago from a 5th grade class that I taught. And each Lego piece was a reward for something that we celebrated. And now that trophy serves as an exciting piece of success on a kid's desk when something they worked their best and had an amazing result on an academic success, or I saw them be a great friend. So it's just fun to see different things that we can celebrate. Sometimes we need to pause on academics and just have fun, like the 30-second dance party. And then sometimes you just need to throw a football. That's a soft, squishy ball, and it's very small, and it's just fun that kids think, oh my goodness, Miss Brooks lets me throw a ball in the classroom. but it's all within expectations taught before the ball is ever thrown. And a lot of times there's an academic component to it. Some strategies beyond what I just said is we do morning meetings for emotional check-ins and community building. You can see the picture to the side that we had ESP and Joy Reeses come read to our class as a morning meeting, and they read a book that taught inclusion and diversity within different students and their abilities, and seeing kids not for their disabilities but for their different abilities and different wonderful characteristics. And that was just really neat to have community members of all abilities come and talk and make things feel normal instead of so many differences that we so often see. Social emotional learning themed books and discussions and reading lessons, using those as mentor texts is pretty powerful. Like My Bag, the Calm Down Corner with mindfulness and breathing exercises, conflict resolution strategies, and self-regulation techniques. I also have a picture of a buddy that says, in our class, we do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And that's just our expectation in our class. We aren't necessarily going to reward you for doing something that's expected of you, but doing the right thing, you will get recognized and you are going to be celebrated because that's just what we do. We do the right thing, not for rewards, not for any accolade, but because it's the right thing to do. And so kids think it's pretty awesome that when they're caught doing something absolutely mundane and normal because it's the right thing, to get a reward. Parents aren't out of the woods with social emotional learning. I like to have, at times when I can teach parents strategies for managing emotions at home, have that communication to see what works at home that we can implement in the classroom and what I can implement in the classroom that might work at home. Sending home newsletters with conversation starters and activities in it. Gratitude journals and discussion prompts. This is the Ways I Shine prompt that we keep in there. We call it a chief binder. We're the Oconee County Elementary School chiefs. And this can be filled out at any moment. And each ray is just a different way to shine. So if a student excelled in an academic task, or if I saw them being an amazing friend or helping out in the cafeteria, anything that they were shining, we just write it down and date it. And then the parents have it at home and can celebrate that with their student as well as fill it out themselves. So if my parents might have been filling it out for me, they might have said, Ashley did a fantastic job at soccer being a great teammate, and would sign it. And then I would see it as a teacher, and we can celebrate that in the classroom as well. I feel like that is just a great way to bridge the gap between school and home and really make that a key to success. And then the realities mirror the barriers discussed by McCleskey in 2017, and especially the lack of training and time for collaboration. When there's no collaboration and we don't make time for it, kids feel it, and kids don't feel seen or heard because it's two separate worlds. And so when we can combine them into one world, kids feel like they're in the center of it, and that is such a positive thing. Student learning, that we improve engagement and willingness to tackle hard academic risk. We have a motto that says, right beside the right thing, it says, in this class, I can do hard things. And we just live by that. It's okay to think it's hard. Nobody's going to be mad at you because this isn't easy, but it's okay to think something's hard. We just have to get through it, and we can get through it together. And teaching that grit and that rigor, or that ability to get over that rigorous task, has been really cool to see kids rise above it and accept the challenge. It does decrease behavioral disruptions and better focus for all our children in our classroom. It increases emotional resilience and cooperative learning, like I said before. Parents report better communication and frustration management at home. And through implementing more inclusive strategies, I've seen positive student growth. And this is something Friend and Bursek also suggest as a hallmark of strong inclusion. This is a book that I love to teach. It's called What Do You Do with an Idea? And I read it, and it just talks about an idea just starts at something really small. And what do you do with it? You keep building on and on and on and on to this idea until you have something really great. And in my classroom, I want kids to know that when we start small and we start chipping away at the elephant just one bite at a time, we're going to get to something really big. And I think so often they just want the big thing right away, but that resiliency and that grit comes at just one bite at a time. And so with this lesson, everybody gets a bag of maybe 10 Legos, just random Legos that don't match, don't have any, like I just grab them from my son's Lego box. And they all get a little Ziploc bag and they have to make something. And then they go with a friend, and there's now partners, and they have 20 something Legos, and they can kind of take apart and rebuild a little bit, and they connect their Legos. And then they get with another set, and now we have 40 Legos until we end up with this really cool creation with an amazing story of an idea that started with just one person, and it became this class idea. And I think this was a mega alien space station or something. This was from a couple years ago, but the kids were so proud of it. So in conclusion, social emotional learning is a foundation for academic and emotional success. Addressing emotions first will always, in my opinion, lead to better learning outcomes. Collaboration between educators and parents enhances social emotional impact, and investing in social emotional helps children develop lifelong emotional resilience. And this is a picture of my personal children and these happy smiles. And the hope is that I, as a teacher, am teaching my students to go home and feel successful, and I'm helping my parents be the biggest cheerleaders they can for their teachers. And at home, I'm being my kids' biggest cheerleaders, and I'm trusting that their teachers are also cheering them on for that positive social emotional learning. Here are the references that were listed throughout this presentation, and thank you guys so much.